Why, hello there. Thank you so much for tuning in to my very first podcast. Similar to the other times I've tried something new for the very first time, it is painful, it is bloody. We're hoping it's going to get better, and we're just trying to enjoy it as much as we can at this point. So with no further ado, here's my podcast intro song. I really hope you like it. And if you don't, fuck off. All right, we're recording. So first and foremost, don't you guys love my song that I chose? Because I'm actually really into it, and I think it's going to be stuck in my head all the time.
I like it for you.
It matches your crazy.
Yeah, I like it for you.
No, it
Okay, so we have two random voices. I'm Ella, right? So I'm not going to introduce myself. Welcome to whatever we end up naming this podcast. I say we for the multiple personalities in my head. All right, Liv.
Hi.
Who are you?
I am friends with Willow and Ella, and I'm visiting from
You're
the
a
other
quarantine
city.
visitor.
Yeah, you're social distance visiting.
Yes, exactly.
And who the hell is Willow? who are you closer friends with, Willow or me? Like, who do you like more?
That's not the same
This
question.
is a scary question.
You just said who you closer to, and then you said who do you like more.
Oh, are those different answers?
Yeah, those are totally different answers.
Okay, answer both.
I like you equally the same. You're
All right, how did we meet?
through Willow.
Perfect. Who the hell is Willow?
Willow is your roommate and my lovely friend that I know you through. So to answer the question, I'm closer with Willow.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, Willow.
Hi.
You live with me.
I do.
Is that fucking glorious?
Yeah. It's entertaining for sure, but I do genuinely love living with you.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see, we've lived together 2 years, and you got suckered into doing this because we are on quarantine, so all my other guests basically don't exist.
I'm going to be a reoccurring guest for the foreseeable future.
I can't wait. I'm really excited because you're really intelligent, and you've honestly taught me a lot, like living with you over the last 2 years. It's that's why I wanted to do this, honest to God, is because even talking to you, Liv, there's a lot that you shed. You're in HR, and I only know HR as an employee, and so hearing like you talk about HR from that side is very eye-opening. There was a couple stories, I don't even remember what the stories were, but that you shared with me, and you poked holes in the stories kind of from an HR, I don't know, it was just really cool. Mm-hmm. So for me, I love looking at an object from so many different stances and standing points, and I think that's what excites me. So I love meeting people that have a different background or have a different job. And today we decided to talk about makeup.
Yay.
Which I think that's a really big broad topic.
Yes.
But it's something that my grandmother wears a fuck ton of makeup. She always looks good every day of her life. I guarantee you, Rona doesn't matter that no one's going to see her ass for 8 weeks. She's waking up, doing her hair, and doing full-blown, like, Dolly Parton makeup. And yet, my mother doesn't like makeup. Mm-hmm. And that was a fight for them. Because my grandma believes you put your best face forward, and your best face is the one that isn't your own face. So, and for me, I remember in high school, one of my best friends, we were going to like a football game or something with cute boys, and she was like, kindly, but she was just like, but you're not wearing makeup. I've just never been into it. For me, it's something if I'm wearing makeup, it's because I want to accomplish a specific task. Okay. Whether it's impressing someone for a first impression, so I will always wear makeup on interviews. I know that my face is enhanced when I wear makeup because of the skincare and highlighting my certain features, whatnot. If I'm going on a date and I want to make a certain impression, if I'm going to a party like, that I know everyone's going to be done up, I know that there's a certain level of polish to it. I don't understand people who love makeup, though. For me, it's a means to an end, and I will avoid it as much as possible.
So then, you think that makeup is there's some sort of social stance to it, meaning if you go to a job interview, you could be the smartest fucking person, but if you're not wearing makeup, that person is going to think she's not polished, she doesn't have herself together. So is that what goes on in your head?
For a woman, people don't say that when men don't wear makeup.
Of course.
Right. So when we add that to it, that's a whole nother conversation, right? But to a certain extent, yes. Now, that being said, my office hired me, suckers, and in about 2 weeks, the makeup was off.
Right.
And I still, I iron my clothes, or steam my clothes. And I try to be presentable, but...
And makeup is a part of that. Just like you steam your clothes, you put on makeup.
And I just don't do the makeup part. But I do work really hard to take care of my skin so I can be more comfortable in my own skin.
Right. And
not have to wear makeup. Mm-hmm. Really, my motivation for taking care of my skin is so I don't have to wear as much makeup.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's really fair.
But then I also think that wearing makeup is super bad for your skin. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I just have, I don't want to say a strong aversion. It's not like I look at a woman and she's wearing makeup and I go, oh, she's wearing makeup. What a cop-out. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand the love of it.
So I think for me, and I'm nowhere near as into makeup, if you will, as Liv. She's much more the expert than I am. But for me, it's a way of expressing myself. It's like a art form almost. You see the transformations that people and it's a lot of people view it as a canvas that you can express yourself on. And it is a lot of fun. I love doing my makeup most of the time. Sometimes it feels more like a chore because I'm I gotta make myself look presentable, so I gotta put on makeup. But a lot of the time it's because I want to do it because it's fun for me.
Agree.
When you say that Liv is an expert on makeup, would you consider yourself an expert on makeup?
No, I wouldn't. I don't, because I don't like to do makeup on other people. I don't say I'm a makeup artist at all. I just like to learn. That's really
right. So you have more knowledge than I do of makeup, which is, to me, if I had a makeup question, I would go to Liv or our friend Kathleen because they know more than I do.
Can I ask you a question? And I judge. So I've had I now have a rule. I will not get my makeup professionally done for weddings. Okay. And that's just because I do think I do my own makeup the best. Mm-hmm. The only person who's done it better is one of my friends who is a professional artist, but she knows my everyday face. She knows my look. So she's just perfecting it, what I already do. But I do judge makeup artists on a certain tactic, and I need to know which tactic you use so I can evaluate how professional you are. Because I would say makeup artists half do it one way and half do it the other.
Okay.
Which do you put on first? Foundation or eye makeup?
Eye makeup.
That's the right answer. As a girl who never wears makeup, I can just say that I think that that's the right answer. And many people. Have you considered it?
I've done it. I have done it before. It's harder for me to do. I don't get the look that I'm going for.
It messes up your routine.
Kind
of. To do it out of order.
And don't get me wrong, there are some times when you want to do it, if you have, loose glitter and stuff like that, I will do it, but if I'm just, 9 times out of 10 going out and doing makeup, I won't ever do my eyes first.
Why do you do your eyes first?
Because of the fallout. Like if I'm blending a lot, I know it always ends up on my face. So I don't want to waste my foundation by putting it on and then having to take it back off to put it back on to wipe away product that fell out on my face. Even if it's like not a glittery eyeshadow, even the matte eyeshadows sometimes they like fall like here, like on the top of my cheekbone or something. So,
do you ever look at people, especially strangers, not friends, because that's a little bit different. We all want to enhance our friends. We want them to be the best versions. But do you ever see a woman out and her makeup, there's just, not that it's crazy bad, like her over-lipped line or something, but, you know, you kind of look at her and think, I could have done that better for you, honey.
yes.
Oh, shit.
It's usually when it's like really bad though. I don't sit there and judge people's faces, but like if I see someone that has like unblended foundation or it's blotchy or their eyeshadow is unblended, I'm like, ooh, you could have spent like 5 more minutes and blended that out, you know?
So now I have anxiety because I don't know how you blend eyeshadow. I thought you just put it on.
And that's where I say, to me, she's an expert because she has much more knowledge about it and knows how to do it much better than the regular run-of-the-mill person who wears
It's very
makeup.
nice of you. I think it started for me because I have really oily skin and I used to be really insecure about it, like in middle school and high school because none of my friends did. So I spent a lot of time like researching products for oily skin. And then that's how I kind of started to get into makeup, is I just like to learn about it. And skincare too.
When did you start wearing makeup?
In high school. My mom didn't allow me.
Like not even the little girl princess. I think the little girl princess palettes, do you know what I mean? Like the really cheap, like you would never put this on your face.
Yeah.
Talc and even like tinted lipsticks with like where you put your finger in it, you know, those palettes.
Yeah.
I think those are highly inappropriate for little girls. I
never had
don't
that.
like those. Ooh.
No, I played in my mom's lipsticks and stuff when I was younger, but I think it was just like something I was insecure about in high school. Like I just didn't like that about myself.
Willow, if someone came to you and they were younger, so because we're older, so to be honest, like your skin right now, I guess hearing you say it's oily, but I've been looking at your skin all morning thinking, oh my gosh, she's so radiant.
Oh, thank you.
Like that look. But I also know that our skin dries out as we go older. Right. So, you know, we were all oily-er 10 years ago. Right. So I can imagine how, like, having that sheen in high school would be anxiety-inducing. Mm-hmm. If someone told you, Willow, I have oily skin and I don't like it, would you offer them makeup as a solution?
No. I would tell them to find, I mean, I guess it depends on what they want to do with their oily skin. Like, if they want to cover it up, skincare is not going to do that. If they want to cover it, yeah, they're going to need to powder the shit out of their face, find a good foundation that blocks the oils coming through and everything. But I think that if you just educate people, like if someone and I'm an extremely oily person as well. Like that's one of the things that Liv and I have in common is that the two of us are just two oily bitches. So we use a lot of the same makeup because one of us will use it and recommend it to the other one. If someone like in Liv's circle, because my relationship with makeup is much different than Liv's. Like if Liv's stemmed from insecurity, like that's not the same relationship I have with makeup. So there's already going to be a difference there on how we feel about it. But if there was someone in high school to tell Liv, oily skin is a blessing. I don't know if there's a study out there, so I'm not going to say study, but there's a stigma out there with people with oilier skin tend to age better. Yes. And that's because they have oily skin, and the oils keep their skin hydrated, and it helps with fine lines and wrinkles and things like that going into your old age. So I wish that there would have been someone to tell Liv, your oily skin is a blessing. Like, don't be afraid of it because it's wonderful. Here's some products that can help so it's not excessive, but your oil isn't going to completely ever go away.
Yeah.
So,
well, I did hear that, but
Yeah.
when you're 14, that's not really what you're paying attention to. Like, it
Right.
doesn't resonate. Like, oh, when I'm 65, I'm going to have better skin than my friends because
Yeah, like,
I'm
you don't
14
care.
and I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
But I feel like people now with like these girls and stuff that you see on TikTok and YouTube and things like that are doing makeup at like 13, 14 years old, like a full-fledged, like, I mean, they can do makeup than I can do makeup. It's like those people, they know, like they're more educated about skincare now. And I bet you if you asked one of them, a 14-year-old now with oily skin, if they would be that insecure about it, they probably wouldn't be.
I also think there's
more,
a lot more products out there.
There is, for sure.
Than there was like 10 years ago.
I mean, where were you guys buying? We're all about the same age. I'm reluctantly saying I'm the oldest in the room, but only by a smidge. I was born in the 80s. Where did you guys buy your makeup?
At the beginning, probably like Target.
Mm-hmm. Drugstores.
Yeah.
I didn't. I bought high-end makeup.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. Is because I started off wearing makeup out of necessity because I used to be a young, somewhat professional dancer.
Right.
So when I would be doing my shows and stuff, and when I'd be in pantomimes, and when I would perform, you have to wear makeup because you're on stage. Mm-hmm. So I started wearing makeup when I was very young, at like 7. And my mom has always been into skincare, and so she like when we went to go shop for my makeup, she took me to the best department store and bought me the best makeup because she's like, we're not going to ruin your skin with shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you said something and I was gonna tie it in. I'll find a way to tie it in, but slightly new topic: makeup and dating. Mm-hmm. Another reason why I am so adamant about not wearing makeup as soon as possible is because I feel that I get a much better reaction when I do get done up. I feel like people are more like, oh, wow, versus you're always done up. And then that one day you have that team building where you know you're going to sweat and you can't show up at 6 a.m. in a full-fledged makeup. And so now all your coworkers are seeing you for the first time without. To me, when I've witnessed that in other women at work, especially when we're doing these video conferences right now, I'm seeing high-level women empowered without makeup for the first time. I notice that they're not wearing makeup, and it's more of like she looks great, but
it's different.
Versus they're all used to this face anyway, because this is the face that they've been getting for a while. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to dating, is there a correlation? Like, is there a time where you are not comfortable showing your face with a man when you're dating, or you immediately want to get it over with, or you just know it's going to eventually happen, like a fart or a period, and you just hope that it's not a total shit show? Like, how do you feel about that?
I'm actually not that insecure about not wearing makeup around the guys that I date, and I think it's because I don't wear makeup to work like you. I literally just put on my eyebrows and mascara. I don't do anything else. But when I am dating someone, I don't really care about, I'm not insecure about not wearing makeup around them. I'm actually more insecure about my hair extensions. Like, I care more about that.
I can see that.
That they don't rip them out or anything.
Yeah, they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's just part of me.
My grandmother taught me at a very young age, if you bought it, it's yours. So someone's like
that.
Are those your nails? Yes. Yes, they are.
fucking paid for them, so yeah.
Are those
I
your
like that.
eyelashes? Yes. They're mine. Okay, so no insecurities there. So you don't wear makeup every day.
No.
I like that. What do you think about women? And I have a couple friends, and again, this whole quarantine kind of brings it out because I have a couple friends who insist to this day getting up every morning doing their hair and makeup, which is why I did it last week just to see if it would get me excited, and it really didn't. It just felt like a waste of time to me.
I mean, personally, like, I only wear makeup if I'm, like, going out. I really don't wear makeup that often, even though I love it. I find, like, to me personally, I'm like, I spend so much time or so much money on the makeup I buy, I'm not going to waste it at work.
Right.
So that's why I don't do it.
Well,
I actually have a friend who's a nanny, and she puts on a full face of makeup with lashes included every day, even before quarantine, to watch children. And I didn't understand that, but I think if, like, that makes you feel better about yourself, I don't, judge. I wouldn't personally do that, but
I think that your friend, I don't know who the fuck is hiring your friend, but if I had a husband, how old is your friend?
27.
Not allowed in my fucking house. Get your fake eyelashes and your little perky 27-year-old tits out of my house and away from my children. I never understand women who let young nannies in there. I get it's cheaper. You're cheaper.
Yeah.
But fuck, and then fake eyelash? No.
Yeah,
no.
she looks like a doll.
But that's like, isn't that kind of like saying, oh, I wouldn't let, like, a pretty doctor operate on me because she's so pretty that there's no way, like...
I can't operate on my husband. You're inviting a woman to showcase a job you perfectly could do yourself, but you're outsourcing.
But a lot of people do that because they have to work.
No, I'm not having a problem with the nanny. It's like, I can't operate on my husband if he gets a bullet in his chest. So yeah, a pretty woman can do it, but it's the combo. It's the combo of, I could be doing this, and she's doing it and looking good and younger.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I think that's, and then we hear of how many men that leave their wives for the nanny, like that's an actual thing, because you've just created a clone, a younger clone that has more energy. Like, look at me be the mom that your wife can't be to your kids right now. Like, that psychology. Whereas if it's like an ugly old, bush kebab or whatever, what do we call our, like the grandma, it's like, well, of course she's really good with the kid. She's older. She's got more experience. Right. But like a young little...
But maybe that's like a societal insecurity. Because we hear the stories of so many men leaving their wives for the nanny. It's like, first of all, those men probably would have left their wives for any young, hot thing. Like, they're obviously ain't shit. So they probably would have left their wife for any cute thing that, like, threw a smile in their direction. But, like, is that to say that, like, women have to work too? I know when I have a kid, like, I will most definitely go back to work. And, like, am I going to hire the older lady who isn't as attractive as maybe somebody younger who has had a lot of experience, or maybe she has some sort of degree or schooling in kids education or something like that? Like, I'm not going to hire her just because she's pretty?
Yeah, no. Because it's so close to home. We're not talking about my secretary or, a finance director where you're choosing between, oh, she's really hot and all the men can't contain themselves. She's a walking sexual harassment lawsuit because she's too hot. We're talking about a woman coming into your home. Like you're almost like showcasing the next, like, it's like
too intimate.
Yeah. There's some hot, it's just different. You don't outsource to hotter, no. But hiring someone because they're not hiring someone because they're attractive.
That's what you just said that you wouldn't do.
Well, because again, it's the idea of someone,
The
this is
task
very
at hand.
personal, like
It is.
intimate. Taking care of my kids is very intimate.
Mhm.
How I vet the person that's going to be my secretary at work versus the person who's going to have my children's lives and mental stability in their hands. It's going to be like, I'll be vetting. And because of that intimacy, my husband will have that intimacy with that individual as well. So let's cut the potential for physical is my thought process.
Mhm.
Kudos to your friend. Nothing against your friend. My mentality, she probably hates people that like me that say that, but I know I have heard too many stories, and I struggle because I'm like, well, maybe what's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
I have a friend who was a nanny, and she's now married with 2 kids with one of her clients.
Wow.
So that story, it was scandalous.
Yeah, I think it happens for sure.
It was
But that's like
scandalous.
saying I grew up with like some sort of a nanny, and I love her. She was not young or by any means, so I don't know what that feels like, but to me it would be the same thing as like me going to visit my husband at work in the workplace and seeing that someone in his department or his assistant or the person that sits in the office right next to him is young and attractive and pretty and whatever. I would be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Not let my husband go to work for 9 hours out of the day? Like, because, so they're like, what's the difference there?
That happens too, where men
Yeah.
marry their executive assistants.
And I say, like, it's just because those people are shit. I don't think that it should be like, oh, I wouldn't give this person a job because she's pretty and my husband may potentially leave me for her, even though she can show that she can take care of kids and stuff like that. Like, my husband should be 100% faithful to me no matter who catches his eye.
And I just don't want to tempt fate.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
get
where I'm
the-
at.
I
Yeah,
get the,
no.
like, not
But
wanting
I
to
will,
tempt anything.
but I will say, back to my girlfriend who did do that. She stole the guy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
sad to say,
Yeah.
and I'm sure might hear me say this, but she stole him, and it's known. And she dealt with a lot of backlash because she became She had to transition from being the children's nanny to being the children's stepmom. She had to transition from being, a client relationship to now the bitch hates me and wants me dead.
Right.
They're married with 2 kids now.
Mm.
Go to church every week, like very madly in love, very happily in love. They're really, really happy. Really happy. And sorry to say, ex-wife, miserable
Yeah.
bitch. So back to your point of like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And so that's why I'm like, well, maybe fate. It was
Maybe
fate.
you don't need to tempt fate, though.
Well,
is
but
what you-
no, I'm saying like what's meant to be is meant to be anyway. So if your husband's meant to be your partner, then to your
Then
point, he won't be
yeah.
doing that.
Right.
So like seeing their story has kind of messed with my head because I'm just like, I thought that when she was getting hired. I mean, cause she's really hot.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking we were right out of college, like 21. And I just thought at 21 years old, I was thinking, fuck no, you ain't coming into my Newport Coast house.
Yeah.
It's weird. And now they're very happily married with 2 kids. I don't know. So anyway, back to the makeup. I don't know where that
I
went.
was like, what was the question?
Do you think there are certain companies, and this is just based upon your experience, both of you guys actually, your experience going out into the world, do you think it's clear that there are certain companies that require their female employees to wear makeup? And is that legal, Liv?
Depends on the company. So let's say you work for a makeup brand at a, like MAC or something. Then yes, it's part of your uniform to wear the product.
And if I'm a hairdresser, I'm not doing people's makeup, but I work at a salon, but I have to wear makeup and heels every day to work.
It really just depends on what the dress code of the company is. Like the company can say like you have to wear a certain uniform.
As someone who doesn't wear makeup, there are certain places I go where I'm like, it's very clear that they have to wear makeup to work here. And I used to work at Hooters. So I'm assuming that the requirements of beauty for a serving job were way stricter then. So that's where my head is coming from of like, oh no, they enforced it.
Mm-hmm.
They enforced it. And it was such a fun job. So like I didn't mind. The makeup again was a means to an end. I knew that, I mean, they did full 30-minute inspections before every single shift, head to toe.
They're a very, like, their handbook or their dress code or whatever they're all about uniform. Like, you guys have to wear the same shorts, the same shirt. You have to look a certain way because that's the job. And so to me, I don't think like a company like that, for them to ask that you wear makeup, is that crazy? Because it would be part of the uniform. Them sexualizing women in some way is like a completely different topic.
Okay, Willow. I worked there.
I know. But I'm sure you probably felt working there like somewhat sexualized, or no, not at all?
Honestly, no. It was all about, it was fun. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, again, I'm talking in circles here. Okay, cut. I really do start speaking in circles at this point. So I'm going to do you all a favor and cut the next hour. Here's the recap. We go into a tangent about the commonalities of Disneyland and Hooters. Maybe I'll save that for another podcast. Which then turns into human resources laws about hair and makeup, the new coronavirus employment laws, which, by the way, are effective until December 31st, 2020. That kind of blew our fucking minds. Eventually, it turns into my dating life, which somehow it always comes back to my dating life, doesn't it? Lastly, Willow decides she no longer gives a fuck about the fact that we're mid-recording and starts gnawing on the world's crunchiest cookies wrapped in the crinkliest of wrappers. Liv then reminds me that I should probably circle back to makeup somehow. I try. But Willow sends me over the edge with this. Okay, but not to get political, you guys, because I really, and I need to say that. How does it make sense? Yeah, open your drink. Open your fucking disgusting White Claw. Your Skittle burp of a malt beverage.
Skittle burp? Oh,
yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
It means I ate a bag of Skittles and then I burp in your mouth, and that's what White Claw tastes like. She was not. Yeah, open it.
Yeah, I did open it. And I'm going to take a big fucking slurp out of it as well.
Gulp it down.
Skittle slurp.
Okay, what's your political question?
You're fucking up my beautiful podcast. So back to makeup. I think that ends this podcast.
Okay.
And on that note,
I like
this is over.
Okay, bye.
Hey, thanks for checking this shit show out. If you have an idea you'd like to be featured here, my email is ellayourbellapodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.